Hi, I'm Rob Taylor, Manager of Communications at Mountain Parks Electric. Each year in the spring, as the snow begins to melt, about 300 of you join us right here at our parking garage in Granby for our annual meeting. But this year, instead of a crowd of people, our parking garage is full of transformers, fleet vehicles, and work trucks. For those of you who have attended one of our annual meetings before, thank you. We miss you. We cannot wait to see you again, hopefully at next year's annual meeting, when we will once again begin with a free hot breakfast. Following a brief financial update, we will be awarding college and vocational scholarships to our local graduating seniors. And even though we didn't have an annual meeting this year, we awarded $71,000 in scholarships. At the annual meeting next year, we will also, as always, be giving away 8 quarters of beef that we purchased locally from the North Park Fair in Walden and the Middle Park Fair and Rodeo in Kremling. And we'll have other great drawing prizes as well as a whole lot of fun. But this year, due to the COVID-19 pandemic and restrictions placed on in-person group gatherings, we reluctantly canceled this year's annual meeting. There was no director election. The only official order of business that we had was to approve our 2019 annual meeting minutes. We will now delay that until next year's annual meeting, tentatively planned for May of 2021. Even though there is no annual meeting today, we still want to update you on our finances, give you a chance to interact with our board and manager. To win those 8 quarters of beef, we are going to give those away today, as well as an electric lawnmower. So that's why we're having this virtual town hall. We're glad you're here. Come on, let's get started. I'd like to introduce you to our general manager, Mark Johnston.
Welcome, members of Mountain Parks Electric. If you've been to one of our annual meetings in the past, this is going to look a little bit different. But we still want to give you a little bit of a sense of the health of your cooperative, the past, present, and future. So we're going to look at a few slides to give you some information so that you're better informed. Mountain Parks had a good 2019 and is financially strong. That strength is displayed in a number of factors. Kilowatt-hour sales were up by 4.3% over 2018. Those sales came from residential construction in Fraser, Granby, and Winter Park. Oil production in Jackson County also contributed to the sales growth. Mountain Parks expected to see similar growth in 2020. However, the COVID virus has affected the economy with closures of many businesses and hit the oil and gas business hard. We're not sure where sales will go, but we're continuing to watch them. Operating revenues increased 3.4% over 2018. This continues a favorable trend over the last 4 years of operating revenue growth. Operating expenses increased similarly 3.4% over 2018. Expenses are primarily driven by the increase in power cost. As Mountain Park sells more kilowatt hours, we purchase more electricity from Tri-State. Looking at other operating costs such as labor, benefits, depreciation, and interest, those actually decreased. Operating margins increased 4% over 2018. Margins drive the capital credits returned to members each year. Over the past 5 years, the board has retired and returned $10.7 million in capital credits to members. Another factor of our growth is that we added 411 new services in 2019. Mountain Parks also had a number of firsts in 2019. We built local solar projects in Fraser and Walden. Each project was 1 megawatt. Combined, these projects will save enough electricity to power 600 homes. They're not only good for the environment, but they lower the cost of electricity for all members. They'll save more than $3 million over the 30-year lives of these projects. That's money we don't have to pay to purchase electricity. Pilot projects, number of you participated in those. Smart thermostats, water heater controls, air source heat pumps. The last pilot project was done with West Grand School District, working in conjunction with the state of Colorado, who gave us a grant. Mountain Parks was able to help offset the remaining cost of buying an electric bus. This pilot project will not only help them reduce their operating costs, but help prove this technology and reduce the carbon footprint of the school district. Why do we do these things? A couple of reasons. reducing our carbon footprint, helping our members save money, and giving our members more control over their energy usage. Mountain Parks continued supporting the communities we serve with the help of our members. We gave 23 scholarships totaling more than $71,000, supported the work of the Mountain Family Center, Operation Roundup, and Green Power rebates. Looking to the future, Mountain Parks revised its mission and vision statement in 2019. These statements help us to know who we are, where we want to go, and how we want to get there. These statements are available for member review on our website. In addition, the board and management met to create a strategic plan for Mountain Parks. The plan includes 6 goals and objectives on how to reach those goals. That's also posted on our website for members to review. Some of those goals are 50% renewable by 2024. So how do we get there? Tri-State released the Responsible Energy Plan in late 2019. It will build 1,000 megawatts of renewables. The problem is they can't do this alone. They need local utilities like Mountain Parks to build renewables as well. Part of our contribution will be community solar. Mountain Parks is currently working to construct 2 megawatts of community solar in Fraser. Production will be available to members to subscribe to and save. On July 1st, Mountain Parks will introduce Electrify Everything. It's a program to provide financial assistance to allow members to make energy investments. Initial opportunities include heat pumps, insulation upgrades, solar panels, and commercial electric vehicle chargers. Funds are limited, so get your application in. The last item is member engagement. We want to give members more access to the board and management. We started this with beers, brats, and megawatts to celebrate the ribbon cutting of our Fraser Solar Project. In February, we hosted 50% by 2024. Lastly, the showpiece is our community town halls, an opportunity to meet board members and management, have one-on-one conversations, to ask questions about your cooperative. The first town hall was scheduled for April. Got sidetracked a little bit by COVID. But stay tuned. We hope to schedule these meetings when Colorado lifts the meeting restrictions.
Recently, Mark sat down for an interview and talked about our business operational changes in response to COVID-19. Let's listen in.
In Colorado's high country, Mountain Parks Electric is stepping up to support its community in a time of serious economic strain. During this viral pandemic, we're learning more about how cooperatives like Mountain Parks are responding while making sure vital electricity is something their members can count on.
Joining this video call is Mark Johnston. He is General Manager of Mountain Parks Electric. And Mark, I understand the biggest immediate impact of this pandemic in your area is economic.
That's right, Bozzy. Our economy is driven by tourism. And as the tourism started to dwindle, it affected our members, it affected our small business and their employees. To give you some perspective, we have about 20 to 30% of our jobs are tied to tourism in one way or another. A couple days after the governor's stay-at-home order, our largest employer laid off 1,200 employees, which was a big hit to our community. Delinquency rates historically have gone up about 4 times for the 30 days. Now, we expect that obviously to continue as the pandemic continues. Give you another perspective, our local food bank, in a year, they would spend about $75,000 to purchase food. They've spent $37,000 in the last 4 weeks. In order to be able to deal with the demand, they have ordered as if they were ordering for a normal 3-month supply, and those have disappeared within about 2 weeks. And they've done that now twice. Since the large amount of food comes in, they need assistance, and our employees have gone over and helped them to unload those vans and hopefully keep the shelves stocked, but it's been extremely difficult.
And given that very serious economic toll, I understand that there's some things you've been doing trying to provide some financial relief.
Well, as a cooperative, one of our principles is community, and our board is committed to that. And they have done a number of grants to help the community. The first grant was to the Mountain Family Center that runs the local food bank. They gave them money to help our members pay their electric bills. Secondly, because of the hard-hit small business community, the second grant was to the Small Business Emergency Fund, and that has helped the small businesses pay their electric bills. Interestingly, we did it in 3 installments, and we are almost 2/3 through the money, and we've only been operating it for about 3 weeks. And lastly, one of the local distilleries, when we started to have a difficult time finding hand sanitizer, they were able to make hand sanitizer and they were giving it away to the community. Their revenues were down by 65%. So our board stepped in and gave them a grant that helps them produce the hand sanitizer and then give it away for free.
And you just mentioned your board there. I noticed on your Facebook page, you were able to post your last board meeting online since it was held via video conference. And I also noticed there's been a number of other great posts on Facebook related to this COVID crisis.
Well, I think we're all operating in a new environment, and that was a challenge for us initially, posting that online, but our board members needed to be socially distanced. One of the other things that we decided to do was to post a video telling our members that we're still here. We're still here to serve them. We have ways that even though our offices are closed, that they can interact with us through the internet, through the drive up, over the telephone. We have waived a number of fees to help make it easier for them to be able to actually pay their bills. And just to give them that reassurance that as their local electric cooperative, we're still here for them. The other thing that we decided to do is a series of videos that thanks the essential workers in our community. We see on TV a lot of times people thanking doctors and first responders. We wanted to go beyond that. We have a local teacher at the high school that's using a 3D printer to print masks for first responders. We have local food banks, not just the one that we have supported, but others that are providing food to the community. We have the community health director for the county that was able to post one of those videos. And it's just a way for us as an organization to say thank you for the people that drive the organization and also power our communities.
We are all so thankful for those essential workers right now. Mark Johnston is with Mountain Parks Electric. Thanks for your time today, Mark.
Thank you.
Welcome to our member Q&A. We're being hosted today by Jason, the owner of the Perk, and Green Spaces, a sustainable workplace in Winter Park. I'd like to thank our members for submitting questions for today's Q&A. If you'd like to, you can always give us additional questions on Facebook. And I'd like to start by introducing Liz McIntyre, one of our directors.
Thanks, Mark. In conversations with members, they're telling me that more than ever with this COVID-19, they're looking at utility expenses, all expenses really, but they're concerned. Will Mountain Park see an increase in rates soon?
Well, Liz, the good news for members is no, there isn't a rate increase planned for 2020 or 2021. Our rate increases are generally driven by our power cost, and our power supplier, Tri-State, has told us that power rates are going to be constant through 2022.
That's great news. What is Mountain Parks doing to control its own costs?
Well, each year we go through a budget cycle, and we create a capital and an operating budget. And it's a chance for the management of Mountain Parks to look at all of our costs, examine them, look at how we do things, and if we can do things better at a lower price. We've instituted a program that helps employees challenge the status quo. It's called We Can Do Better If. What we ask employees to do is examine the way that they do things, try and find ways to do things better. What it has resulted in is reduced operating costs and greater efficiencies. In addition, the 2 solar projects that we implemented last year are going to save members more than $3 million over the next 30 years.
I like the idea of having employees examine how Mountain Parks can save money. That's a really smart approach. What can Mountain Parks do to help members save money on their own electric bills?
I think the greatest thing that Mountain Parks can do to help members is empower them. And we can do that by a couple of things. We can help them have more information, and one of those things is Smart Hub. Smart Hub allows them to look at their energy usage on an hourly, daily, even weekly basis. With that information, they can then look at how they use the power and determine whether or not something like our new time of use rate is applicable to them. For many years, Mountain Parks has offered rebates to our members for Energy Star appliances and to do energy improvements in their homes. In July, we'll be introducing the Electrify Everything program, which will assist our members with the ability to make energy investments in their homes. And lastly, we provide monthly tips on ways that members can save energy in the Colorado Country Life magazine.
Well, those programs show that Mountain Parks is really focused on our members as a not-for-profit cooperative. Tell me more about the Electrify Everything program.
Electrify Everything is a really exciting program for our members. It allows them to make energy investments in their homes that include installing heat pumps, commercial EV chargers, upgrading their insulation, and even solar. But our goal is to have members realize long-term savings. So each project is looked at in terms of how long it will take to pay back, and we want them to pay back within 10 years because that will allow our members to reap the benefits of these investments that they're making. And we even have a mascot for this program. It's a Tesla. It has the Electrify Everything logo on it. You may have seen it driving around, but if you haven't, you will. Why, some people might ask, a Tesla or an electric vehicle, and that's because we know that they're not only good for the environment, but they have the ability to save our members money. And in the long term, there are projections that by 2030, we'll see a quadrupling of the number of electric vehicles on the road. And if you haven't had a chance to drive it, we're going to be doing test and drive events, so members will have a chance to look at and feel what it's like to drive an electric vehicle.
Well, I'm excited for the Electrify Everything program to get rolled out so members can take advantage of it. The mascot in the Tesla, I have a Volt myself, and so I'm used to driving electric. The savings is still there regardless of the decrease in gas price. Maybe you don't save quite as much. The convenience is immense to just plug in your car rather than to go to a gas station. So I'm really excited that Mountain Parks can share those experiences with their members, and people will be able to experience what it's like to drive in a Tesla. So, Mark, Winter Park just had an unprecedented wind event with wind speeds of 110 miles an hour. What is Mountain Parks doing to bolster, ensure reliability for weather events like that?
For Mountain Parks, reliability is really a three-legged stool. The first is that we have a vegetation management program, and we look at all of our lines every year, but we do the vegetation management once every 7 years on our 1,800 miles of right-of-way. But right-of-way is not just a Mountain Parks issue, it's a member issue. Sometimes we'll identify what we call danger trees, and those are trees that in a wind event might fall into the lines and disrupt power to you and your neighbors. The second leg is we have a maintenance program, and we go out and we look at our lines, our transformers, our poles, and we test them every year to make sure that in the event of a windstorm or an ice storm that they're going to be standing tall and will be able to provide that electricity. The last is the men and women of Mountain Parks that answer the call day or night to come out and restore your power as quickly as possible.
Well, Mountain Parks has been serving its members since 1946, and it's created an expectation of reliability when it comes to electricity in this area. Is the dreaded $29 monthly service charge, how's that tied into that effort?
The $29 service charge, we get a lot of questions about that and that people don't like it, but what it does is it helps fund us providing a system that when you turn the switch on, your electricity and your lights come on. And what it does is it helps us buy poles and transformers and lines and to maintain those to ensure that reliability that we were talking about just a little while ago. One of the other questions that we get frequently is, when compared to Excel, why is my charge so much more expensive? And it comes back down to density. They have 40 customers per mile of line, and we have 11. If you take any charge and you divide it by 40 versus 11, what you see is it's going to be cheaper on a per person basis. But let's face it, we don't live in the mountains to have 4 times as many people here. We just want the same reliable service.
Well, you're right about that, Mark. I moved here for the mogul skiing, but I live here for the open spaces, and I couldn't have done either without reliable electricity. Whether you're in the city or the mountains, though, there's a lot going on with renewables right now. How's Mountain Parks dealing with renewables?
We did 2 1-megawatt solar projects, one in Fraser and one in Walden. And like we mentioned before, they're going to save our members $3 million over the next 30 years. But in addition to that, it's providing power for more than 600 homes, and that's clean, green power. But we need to take it a step further. We need to do community solar. And that's a 2-megawatt project that we're currently designing. It's going to be constructed in 2021, and our members will have the ability to subscribe to the output of that project. Lastly, our Green Power Advisory Committee, or GPAC, is developing a program called Solar Cares. Solar Cares is being put together to help local nonprofits lower their electric bills, while at the same time giving Green Power a revenue stream that they can use to help support our members in making energy efficiency upgrades.
Wow, that's a lot of change and a lot of new programs. I've had some members ask me why Mountain Parks doesn't let people know of these things in advance.
Mountain Parks tries to communicate as soon as we can to our members any change in our tariff or the charges that come from the tariff. We recognize that a number of our members get their information and news from a bunch of different sources. Local newspapers, the Colorado Country Life magazine that comes out every month, our social media, Facebook, Instagram, and on our website. But what we want to do is we want to go beyond that, and we want to create more member engagement. So we're going to be doing some town halls, hopefully in the near future after COVID gets by. And that'll give members an opportunity to have one-on-one conversations with Mountain Parks Management and our board of directors.
And one thing I want to remind our members, member engagement is really important, and I want to urge members that if they have any questions or concerns, please contact your director. There are 7 of us. You can find our information on the website, so send us an email. Don't be shy if you have questions or concerns. And thank you, Mark, for taking the time to answer these questions.
And Liz, I want to thank you for voicing the questions from our members that we received. I also once again want to thank Jason, owner of the Perk, and Green Spaces, a sustainable workplace in Winter Park. And now for the thing that you've all probably sat through this whole video for, the prizes. And with that, I will introduce Jeff Hauk, the president of our board, to announce the lucky winners.
Thanks, Mark. And now for the winners. And the winners are, from District 1, Matthew Martinez. From District 2, Michael Lady. From District 3, Joe Terletsky. From District 4, Evan Hobrook Schroeder. From District 5, Philip Schnell. From District 6, Rosario Barber. From District 7, Tim Jenkins. And the at-large winner, Thomas Callan. And we have one more prize to give away, which is an electric lawnmower, which I'm very jealous about. I just purchased an electric weed eater, and this will be my next step, is the mower. So this is really cool. The winner of this is Karen Balzer.
We'd like to thank you on behalf of the board and employees for watching our virtual town hall. Just a reminder, the prize winners will be contacted, or if you'd like, you can contact us to arrange for delivery of your prize. And we'd like to say we will see you next year at our annual meeting in Granby.